Thanks, everybody. My name is Ryan Weber. I'm CEO of Mentor Mentee.
And I'm Marc Brune, Business Development Manager here at Mentor Mentee.
And thanks again, Aaron and SCRS, for the opportunity to present today. So at Mentor Mentee, our mission is fortifying the future for those willing to evolve. And willing is a word you're going to hear again throughout our presentation, or willingness. And another term you're going to hear a lot, and probably already have, is our technical mentoring. And our technical mentoring platform is different than traditional mentoring, which essentially you're matched with somebody more experienced with you. You meet every so often. There's maybe not any tangible outcomes to those experiences, but they provide a significant amount of value. Technical mentoring is a little bit different. And you can imagine that specifically the outcome is to strengthen that new person's ability and their skills in a technical field. It's one key difference.
Big time. And a big thank you to all of our clients, supporters, friends, and seeing some of the audience now is fantastic for supporting a new product that's coming into the industry. To this point, we're nearly in half of the US states as well as one Canadian province. As we approach about 1,000 active users within our platform, we wanted to share some best practices that we know, we've learned, we've seen, so we can take this labor crisis and turn it into a mentoring opportunity for all.
So let's start with that blueprint. So imagine for a second that if we tackled every repair that came into your shop without any diagnostics, no tools, no data, and it would be chaos, right? Well, the same applies to workforce. And mentoring and apprenticeships have been around since the beginning of time with the sole purpose of replacing a skilled workforce. Now, today we live in a modern world, and technology can be involved in that process as well to help ensure that long-term goal becomes a reality, which is to replace a skilled workforce and pass down critical knowledge from one generation of workers to the next.
Well said. Just as we would not approach a vehicle without the proper diagnostic tools and the right tools in general, a lot of times what we see is that mentees and entry-level technicians that come into the industry are missing one of the most important tools of all, and that is a great mentor. So just like we wouldn't support our techs without tools, we can't leave our young technicians without a very clear direction for the future, and that direction comes from a great mentor.
So just as you want to start with the right diagnostic with a vehicle, the same principles can be applied to people as well. And in our system, diagnostics would really be compared to what we call assessments. Now, we assess 4 critical areas with our proprietary system. However, there's 2 I want to talk about today that are incredibly important. One is assessing your culture. Now, there's a lot of great speakers that are going to go further in depth on culture, but there's a lot of assessments online that you can access for free that will give you the ability to share with all of your employees. And in our assessment, there's 15 categories. I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially we ask them one critical question. Do you believe the company believes in you? The answer to that question can answer so many more factors of the culture that exists in your location specifically. Now, the second assessment I want to talk about that's very important are what we do to assess the mentors who should be participating in a program. Now, whether you have a mentoring program in your facility or you want to start a mentoring or enhance the program you have, knowing who should be a mentor is critical. And we ask them really 2 questions that we paraphrase to make sure we get the right answers to. Specifically, are they willing and able to instruct? That not only allows you to understand not only who would have the experience to pass down to that new technician, but the ability to instruct them. The second question we ask is, do you believe in the industry? Now, obviously, we would not want anyone mentoring our future workforce if they do not believe in that industry specifically. So these are just some examples of how you can assess and understand the culture and who would be a great mentor, ensuring that those things align for ultimate success with your mentoring program.
Well said. Now, let's consider some tools for success. When it comes to repairs, it is the tools themselves. And a great a great technician who knows how to use them. When it comes to mentoring success, the tool for success there is a prepared mentor. And so in our system, in our platform, we educate all participants of the mentoring program, managers, mentors, and mentees. But let's talk about mentors for a second. We train on a lot, but I'll give you 3 key areas we try to focus on. And if you can focus on these with your technicians that you see as a potential fit, it can do a lot of good. Number one is working across generations. The number of times we hear the line, well, this generation just doesn't want to work. They said the same thing about yours. They said the same thing about our grandparents. It's an old trope that's been around for a long time. That's number one. Two, communication, not just in the day-to-day working on vehicles, but for the long term. Those technicians that have been doing this for a while should be able to communicate a clear vision for the future. And three is demonstration. If we've got some technicians in the room, you know, if you've done this for a while, it's basically second nature. Slowing down and describing that work is a little bit different than just doing it when it comes for a mentee. So just like we wouldn't let our technicians use a tool they don't know how to use, the same applies to mentoring as well.
And if you've got a program or if you're ready to launch one, it's very important to begin with the end in mind. So in order to do so, I want to simulate that thought by asking two questions for you to answer in your head. First, do you have a plan for your future workforce? Now, in our system, those plans look like two different things, but first would be a task list plan. Now, we really encourage our customers to customize those task lists specifically for the roles those technicians are going to have, but that really helps them understand what they're going to do that day. So as you wake up in the morning and you're going to work and you have no idea what you're going to be learning that day, it's very intimidating to a new technician. But having a task list and a task plan allows them to know what skills I need to learn and be competent in so that I can be successful long term. Now, second thing as employers ask, how wide are we leaving the door open? Because without a career plan or task list, it's going to feel like just a job. And when you just have a job, your eyes are open to any other job that may come your way, even if it pays just a few more dollars an hour. So by supporting and investing in your people, you're able to close that door, but the door is always open. But that investment always has an ROI. Because again, at the end of the day, the famous quote still remains true: failing to plan is planning to fail.
What a quote, Ryan. I'd like to offer my own. There's a great quote that states, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. When we think about the most beautiful plan for a technician's development, it can be great on paper, but let's say we try it for a week and then we have a busy day. A busy day turns into a busy week turns into a busy month, and pretty soon our technicians are wondering when that mentoring truly starts. So in order for our mentees to continue to thrive, we have to be able to track their progress. Three key areas we talk about. Number one is prioritization. Just like a vehicle that has severe areas of damage, we're going to focus on those first. The same thing applies for a mentee and their skill gaps. Number two is accountability. For the mentees to the mentors, mentors to the mentee, and everybody in between. Holding our people accountable, including ourselves, is absolutely critical as we go forward. And third and final is feedback. If a customer has their car in your facility for a week and they never get any updates, anxiety, worry, confusion, the mentee feels the same way when they don't know where they stand within their career in your facility.
So if you can't tell, there's an opportunity worth seizing here. Now, you're probably all experts in the collision field, but you're also likely here due to the product of mentoring. I know Mark and I both are products of that mentoring. So consider using the same expertise that you utilize when you're diagnosing a vehicle. Those same principles apply to that workforce, because at the end of the day, there's no greater opportunity to seize than investing in your workforce today.
Agreed. In order to fortify your future, we encourage you to adopt, try out a mentoring program, or kickstart the one you have now, and we'll give you a couple of points to walk away with. Number one, we can diagnose our people or our vehicles very similar to assessing our people's willingness and ability to participate in a program. Not every technician is cut out to be a mentor, but those there are, with the right support, they can make an immense amount of difference within your business. On the note of career plans, very similar to a repair plan. And when it comes to a technician, if they don't have a plan for their career and where they're going to grow, well, it's just going to be a job. We don't want that. When we look at businesses that do have this competitive advantage in mentoring, it allows them to approach those technicians that do view it as just a job and really turn it into a lifelong career. Without feedback for those mentees as they continue to grow and learn, they're going to get confused, they're going to get burnt out, and they're going to end up leaving this industry altogether. So if we're able to support and care for our people the same way we do for our customers and their vehicles, that is how we'll be successful together.
So again, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, SCRS. What you didn't see on today's presentation is our software. So if you would like to learn more about that, this QR code will take you directly to our website, and as well as our contact information on the screen. Now, if you would like a free cultural assessment to share with your team, you can email me directly, just ryan.weber@mentormentee.com, and I'd be happy to set you up with that so you can start benchmarking whether or not they believe the company believes in them. Thank you again, and Aaron, we appreciate it.
Thank you.